Hey guys, Faro here with League Top 10, and today we're going to be talking about Dominion. More specifically than that, we're going to be talking about items, and even more specifically than that, we're going to be talking about the new items, why they're there, and what items they replaced from Summoner's Rift, so you don't sit here wondering and just going through the store like we are right now. Now, the obvious place to start would be the Prospector's items, which replace the Doran's items. And the Prospector's items cost twice as much, give double the HP, and double the attack damage or ability power, but it does not double the lifesteal or mana regen. The reason for this is to make Doran's items less appealing by making them less cost effective. Otherwise, the only real opener would be like 2 Doran's blades and boots, and anyone who doesn't get that would just get completely stomped. So I think it was a very smart play, and I think not changing it on Summoner's Rift was also good because it gives people who are falling behind an option to get back into the game. Next, we're going to talk about Priscilla's Blessing, which builds out of 2 Rejuve beads and gives you an active move speed, while also increasing your capture rate on points. And to give you guys an idea and to test my new Sony Vegas skills, here is an example of side-by-side Yi capture. The next item we're going to talk about is Entropy, which builds out of Phage and a BF sword and doesn't replace any Summoner's Rift items. Now this has a chance on hit to slow, and on active gives you a damage over time that deals true damage and slows. And everyone's like, oh man, this item needs to be on Summoner's Rift. Why isn't it there? Herpa-derpa-derpity, continuing like that. It's silly. It's just red buff. Like, that's what, see, look at Yi right now. It's really just red buff. This item does not need to be implemented on Summoner's Rift. Don't get me wrong, it's really good. It's a lot of fun. But we don't need more red buff on Summoner's Rift. Alright, next item is Hextech Sweeper, which is a Dominion original. And what this item does is it reveals your opponents after you cast spells on them. Now, as you can see with these, Alpha Strike gives them a reveal, and there's an active that puts a cloud of smoke down that works kind of like dust. Now, this reveals invisible opponents, and the stats on it are actually pretty good. It's 300 health, 40 ability power, 10% cooldown reduction. Builds out of a Kindle Gem, 2 Amp Tomes, and 100 gold. So it's pretty cost effective and very good if you're fighting stealth characters. And I really, really like this item. So yeah, I mean, I would recommend buying it if you're going up against someone like Eve or Shaco. In the same vein as Hextech, we have Lightbringer, which builds out of a recurve bow, a longsword, and 285 gold, and that 285 gold nets you 10% attack speed and 10 damage, which makes it cost effective, so it's awesome, as well as reveals opponents you auto-attack for 5 seconds. So it's a very strong counter item for people with short-term stealths, like Akali, Talon, Shaco. Very good buy if you're an AD carry. Speaking of AD carries, we have a replacement for Bloodthirster, which is called Sanguine Blade, which gives basically the same stats as Bloodthirster, except you have to build it up by attacking. And the reason for this is that on this map you're not going to get very many creep kills, so you won't be able to build up a Bloodthirster. And you die a lot, so you're not going to be able to keep a Bloodthirster. So this is a very good replacement on an action-oriented map. Now, since AD carries get all of the cool toys, we're going to be talking about Katai's Bloodrazor, which replaced Madred's Bloodrazor. Now, the difference between Katai's and Madred's is that Katai's does not have the actual Madred's Razor component because I think Riot felt that Madred's and Wriggles would be too strong of a counter to promote. So, I mean, it's basically the exact same final item, but the building process is different. And then we have Ionic Spark, which is a much more fair counter to push comps like Promote. This basically gives you a Chain Lightning every 4th hit that deals 100 damage to 4 targets. So it's pretty cool, it's a lot of fun. Gives you attack speed and health, I like it. And for the final item, which everyone can build, we have Odin's Veil. Now, Odin's Veil is a direct replacement to Banshee's Veil because Banshee's Veil would be overpowered. Being able to block a caster's ability to disrupt you from the point could lead to, I guess, casters feeling less useful. So what Odin's Veil does is instead of absorbing one spell, it lowers your spell damage taken by 10%. And it stores that energy up to 400. and you can use the active on Odin's Veil to deal that damage in an AoE. So here we have Singed and Yi, I guess, demoing what happens when you absorb the energy and then use it. Now, I like to use this on tanky characters because it gives you a little bit of extra burst when you're trying to combo someone. And you can see how much energy you have stored by scrolling over the buff bar, and you should have an Odin's Veil buff right there. Now, keep in mind that 10% damage reduction flat on magic damage could actually add up to more than Banshee's Veil, depending on the situation. Now, sometimes Banshee's Veil is obviously better because, you know, eating a Tibbers with Banshee's Veil is obviously better than 10% reduced damage. One thing I wanted to just kind of let everybody know is that my friends list is totally full, so I can't have any more friends, but I still want to be able to talk to everyone who's part of the channel, because I do like giving out advice, and, you know, anytime someone has a question, I like to answer it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend all my time online, whenever I'm on League of Legends, in a League Top 10 chat room. And if you don't know how to make a chat room, you go to the bottom right of your pvp.net client, and there's a little chat room icon next to your friends list. You open that up, and then at the bottom of that, there's a plus sign and a speech bubble, and you click that, and you just type in League space top space 10, and I will be there pretty much anytime I'm online. So if you ever have any questions, or comments about a video, or, you know, if you want to maybe just play a normal game or a ranked game or some Dominion or something, just pop in and let me know. I also spend a lot of time in the 25 Minutes to Surrender channel, which is 25 MTS, and that's a podcast done by some friends of mine. So if you ever want to get a hold of me, those are two ways that you can without directly adding me as a friend, because like I said, I can't. So, you know, as always, guys, this has been Faro with League Top 10. Have a nice